everybody. Oh yeah, let me scoot back. I had scooted over because the cat was here. Yeah, you never know, she'll come back. She might come back. She's currently staring at me from over there as if she's gonna come over, but then, oh, now she's watching Casper. All right. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Heart of a Hobbit. Here we look at Lord of the Rings Online and all the various things you can do in Lord of the Rings Online, as well as looking at my cats and all the various things that happen over here in real life. One of our cats is coming in from outside, and so the other one is at the door to be in the way. A little stinker. She wanted him to play earlier. She was like running all over the place, and we have two cats, and he was not awake. He was upstairs sleeping, and so I think she's now like, haha, you're awake, let's go play. So yay, there's our friend Affodil. Hello Affodil, yay. So we are hanging out here at one of my houses in Lindleby, which is a Hobbit encampment. Encampment is not right. A place where Hobbits live. So I have ingredient crates. Oh, but I clicked on them last night, so I still have an hour before I can click on them again. So we will come back for that. Let's see, what allegiance awards do I have? I don't know why it keeps telling me I have allegiance awards to claim. I think I've claimed everything that it wants to let me claim. Oh no, here's a couple things. Aha! There we go. All right. Now we're done with hopefully that. And I completed some titles. And all right. Don't think I need to worry about any of that right now. Ooh, I got Umbari Mariner. That's okay. I think I'm fine with the title I have now, which is The Bard. Oh, yeah, I'll just leave that for now. That's fine. Okay, so we are here on Laurelin, as it says up at the top. Hooray, got that on. Hello, Lost Shire Hobbit. I see you there in the chat. And notice the words are sorted out already. So I thought we would do some Delvings today on Laurelin, and then I thought we would pop back over to Treebeard to look at some Bingo Boffin. So we'll do that last. We'll start with this stuff. We have a question. Charlie Parr says, may I ask how you managed to have this beautiful UI? I would love to have something similar. Is this an add-on? It is. I think, awesome. Thank you, B4. So yes, so what I have done here is I have gone to that website, so Lotro Interface. LotroInterface.com has a lot of add-ons and plugins for Lord of the Rings Online. And so I do use quite a few various plugins, and so I find it really useful. Some people will just play completely vanilla. Everything is fine, right? Like you can do that. You can use add-ons. You can mix and match, like whatever makes you happy. But what I did, yeah, is I went through Lotro Interface, and this is the JRR Skins collection. I think it's exclamation point skins. Let me see. I think skins. No, or skin. I thought there was a thing for it. Nope, I guess not. Okay. Well, yeah, but you already did that. Yes. Once you get there, I did the JRR Skins collection. And once you've got that downloaded, what you do is you come into the game and you go into your options. And you go to, over here, it says UI settings, which is the fourth one down on that right side. You're going to scroll about 2/3 of the way down, and you'll find something here that says miscellaneous. That's the category you're looking at. And you want to look at, it says your current user skin. And by default, there'll be nothing there. It'll just say like none, that one right there. But once you've downloaded the JRR collection, then you've got all of these various things that are available to you. Basically, a while ago, like 10 years ago or so, I think, various people had made different skins, UI skins, and after a while they weren't supporting that anymore. And so whoever it is who put this together, I can't remember, but they basically took all of these various things that people had made and bundled it together. And so it's really, really awesome, because then you can just scroll right through and they're all right there. So for this one, I'm using the Delving Hills Wide #2. And that gives me all these cool vines and all these various things. So I really enjoy playing with the different skins. They have kind of different flavors of them, kind of. So like you've got some that are kind of elfish, and some that are dwarvish, and some that are hobbitish, and some that are monster-y, and all sorts of fun things like that. Now, the original reason why I wanted to get it actually was I wanted a bigger wardrobe. So by default, when you go in and you try something on, which here, I'll try this on. If you do click and this one, left click, left finger, while you're hovering over an item, like a clothing item, it will show you, it'll pull up the wardrobe and it'll show you what it looks like on your character. But the wardrobe as it is in the game is much tinier, and I wanted something where I could see a lot more, and somebody else had a wardrobe. It was actually a different one from this. It doesn't have any of the background stuff. It's just like the person standing there kind of in midair, which is cool. Both are good. But this is cute because I like how it's got the background that matches the skin that I'm using, so that's kind of fun too. So I wanted the bigger wardrobe, and in going for that, I discovered the skins collection, and I was like, ooh, this is really neat too. And so yeah, ended up doing that. Yeah, Charlie says, played for many years and didn't know that. Many thanks. And it's way more useful like this. I always had to zoom in, right? Yeah, like, because you can zoom in using these 3 little buttons down here. So there's a head, so you can zoom in and see the head area. This one should take you to the chest area, although I feel like it goes a little further. And then this one shows you the shoes. But yeah, I think I like the bigger wardrobe better because, yeah, just easier to see. So yeah, so that's where you'll find that. Now, one thing also that happens in the skins collection is the map. By default, I'm pretty sure it comes in at like, it takes up like 3/4 of your screen. It doesn't take up the whole screen. So that way you can kind of see a little bit of what you're doing in the background and have the map up at the same time. I prefer the full screen. I was kind of like 50-50 on, like, I could take it or leave it on the bigger versus the smaller, but the bigger map just works a lot better for me when I'm streaming, to be able to show things on the map. So from that perspective, I was like, well, I don't want to have to switch back and forth between when I'm questing and then when I'm streaming. I just want it to be all the same. It's just easier for me. So I went ahead and just, there's some code that is embedded in the skin, and there's information on that, on Lotro interface, on that particular download page, on how to remove those couple lines of code, and then you'll have the full size map. So that's what I've done, and I find that really useful. So yeah, hopefully that adds to your gameplay experience. I love the skins. I love playing around with those. They're fun. Okay, so we're going to start off with some delvings, because what we were doing last week and last month really is there is this legendary item reward track, and this is the 9th track that they have going on, and it lasts for 3 months at a time. So we currently have, 2 months and 24 days left of the current reward track. So we've got most of it, but 2 months and 24 days will go by quickly. So we wanted to make a little bit of progress on a regular basis. So we're going to go, where do we want to go? Where do we want to start? We'll start at the Bloody Eagle. All right, so this is the new the newest of the options. This is out in Umbar, which is the newest expansion. And this is the Bloody Eagle Inn, probably. It just says the Bloody Eagle, but it's like a pub, an inn, a gathering place. You can see there's people, you know, talking and tavern. There we go. It's a tavern. You got people dancing and playing music over here. We've got our quartermasters. We got a couple quartermasters over here. And we got a supplier over there. Oh, we've got there we go. We've got the Ledger Keeper's quartermaster. I have joined their alliance. Tome of the Umbari Horn. Ooh, once I have enough thingies, I think I'm of good rep with them. Oh, I have. So this is how I got the guide to the Bloody Eagle Tavern. So I went ahead and got the hunter guide. That way I can take my whole party with me when we want to come here. Because it's like here in the middle of the city of Baharbel, the city of the Corsairs. But you know, I get lost in the city still, so this makes it easier for me to just bring us right here. So, but yeah, we've got a couple quartermasters there. Guide to Jack's Farnell. I don't know that I have that. Do I? It doesn't. Oh, I must have it because, yeah, I must have already got it. Returns you and your fellowship to Jack's Farnell on the Cape of Umbar. Oh, cool. Let's take a look. Hey, Casper, how's it going, bud? We had a sleepy cat. The Cape of. So I gotta zoom out some more. Ah, there we go. I could take us all the way up to this point up here, up above my head, way up there, and we're currently over here in the city. So yeah, cool. Yeah, that's right, because I came in here and I bought like every travel skill I could, because I thought that'd be great. Oh, what is this? Oh, I'm not gonna do that right now. Because we joined the Ledger Keepers faction, I forget what it's called. Not faction, alliance, allegiance, that's it. As we get reputation with them, we can pick up quests basically, and there's a whole storyline to do there. But I'm not planning to do that right now. So Lost Shire says Cape of Umbar reminds me of a boot. Like an Italy type boot. Hey Sandy, welcome. Good to see you in there in the chat. Epic Games TV says, what is the cooked honey and trail boxes for to the right of your hot bars? Oh, down here. When it's called buff tracker? No. Buff monitor. That's what it's called. And and it when I use one of those things, it puts it into the timer. So basically it's another add-on, it's another plug-in, and to set it up you would like you can click on it and I can add an effect, or I can edit an effect that I already have. I can add another bar. Okay, so that's what I did to set this up. So like cooked here, so I'll eat a Bjorn's honey cake just to show you. And now, do you see it popped in there? And now it says Bjorn's original honey cake because it saw the word honey and it said, oh, honey cake. That's the same thing. I will plop this information in here. And so now it tells me the timer as it ticks down. You can see that effect up on my information up at the top. So it has the same information under, you know, I've got a little tooltip underneath my bar up there. But if I don't want to have to like hover over that and look at that constantly to know where am I at, how soon am I going to run out, I can just look right here because I've set it up ahead of time. So currently I'm carrying a cooked food, which is this one underneath here, which is the seasoned fish platter. And then I also have trail food under here, which is the crab legs with butter. And so if I consume either of those, they will go into their spots on the on those specific bars as well. So B4 uses that a lot. He's really good at tracking like all the different buffs and effects that he has on. He even has one set up for when for Find the Path, because that's an effect that applies to the Fellowship. So this is actually sitting on my bar there, underneath my bar. It's an effect, Find the Path. It says plus 15% out of combat run speed. And so he has that on also on Affodil. You'll see it's right there. Affodil has it also. So when I don't click that button, he knows, and he can be like, hey, can my feet be faster, please? So yeah, you can add a whole bunch of various effects. Epic Games asks, can it track pet food? I believe so. I think it can track pretty much anything that has some sort of a timer. Like I could probably... Any effect that you see under your bar. Okay. Before it says it can track any effect you see under your bar. So if pet food shows up under your bar, then yes, you could track it. If it doesn't, then I don't know how you would track it. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't show up on these, if there was like some sort of a plugin somewhere that does. Because the way that, say for example, B4's plugin works is I'm thinking, okay, I should be more specific. He has a few of them, but Deed Tracker. I'm thinking specifically of Deed Tracker. Deed Tracker doesn't look at effects underneath your bar or anything like that. What it does is it looks at the general output. And so like when you finish a deed in your general output, it'll say something like completed, you know, Ruins of Breland. And so he's got it coded so that when that shows up there, it tells Deed Tracker, okay, check that off, you know, check off this specific thing right here. So that's why Deed Tracker has the trouble when there are deeds that have the same name as another deed or have the same name as a quest. So like Brigand Slayer, is that one of them? Or Spider Slayer. Spider Slayer. There are a bunch of Spider Slayers in the game. And looking here right now, you can see in Breland, there's a Spider Slayer. In the Shire, there's Spider Slayer. Ered Luin, Spider Slayer. These have the exact same name. So if it, yeah, so you'll finish Spider Slayer and Deed Tracker is like, hey, I don't want to get this wrong, so why don't you pick which one you just finished? Yeah, it's like, I think you're in Breland, so I think you finished this one, but here's all the other options you might have done. So, and that's why it has to do it that way, because it could be that you were in the Shire and you picked up a spider in the Shire and it followed you to Breland and you defeated it in Breland. So technically the Deed Tracker's like, you're in Breland, but it was a spider from the Shire, so it actually counts as Shire Spider Slayer. So it's like, there's edge cases like that that could happen. That's why the Deed Tracker can't 100% say, this is it. So anyway, my point being that I wonder with the pet food if it could see in the general chat, you know, or in combat or wherever, you know, consumed pet food, and then would it be able to track it somehow in that way? Yeah. Yeah, Telerian says pets might be accessible via API, but perhaps you tracking of buffs might only be possible on targets. Yeah, I don't know. I would say, yeah, take a look at Lotro interface and see what's out there. Oh, actually, you know what I would try first is see if you get an icon under your stuff. Start there. And if you do, then you should be able to put it using Buff Monitor. If not, then yeah, I would say maybe start looking at, yeah, at Lotro interface. If you have more thoughts, come back during the B4 stream, because you know he talks about plugins. After my stream, he's streaming and he does plugin stuff. So, all right, well, let's go and talk to some of these quest giving people. So we're gonna do some missions. And while we're in the mission, we're gonna boost the difficulty by interacting with a thing called a delving stone. And the delving stone allows us to do the delving, as it were, within the mission. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, Tellurian says, if the buff is on you, I would say yes, you can. Yeah, exactly. But if the buff is on the pet and you don't have an icon, Tellurian, I would say probably, but perhaps not in an easy way. So there you go. Also, hello to the person who messaged me saying they're playing the game and watching the stream at the same time. Rock on. I am, yes, I do that as well. So I think that's awesome. All right, so we're gonna pick a dark treasure. Okay, so first I'm gonna pick up the Delve Deeper weekly wrapper quest, which is do 15 of these things. And then Delve into the Darkness weekly, which is complete high tier delvings, which is 6 or higher. And now I'll pick up a dark treasure. And we'll go ahead and go in because Affadil's already in there. So let me catch up. So now we're in here together. There should be a delving stone. Awesome. Thank you for the hope. She does hope and scrolls, which I could have bars to monitor those things, but I don't. But I'll bet you Affadil does. So this is the delving stone. So she's interacted with it, and she's put a gem in there that is a level 7 gem. So we have a vile malice spreads through the area. So we have to find and collect treasure caches and defeat 12 Corsairs. We've done this one before, and what we discovered is we're trying to go over there, but there's like a wall across here somewhere, and so we couldn't get there, so we kind of had to like swing out a little bit to our right and then come back. So that's what we're doing. Oh, if you click on the dude, there he is, you can see the various effects that are on him. So normally when you come into a mission, there's just regular stuff happening. But now that we've added the delving aspect to it, there's additional stuff. So a lot of times we like to stop and take a look before we just like run in to make sure we know what we're up against. So we've got effects number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. For effect number 3, we have variant number 4, Malice 3. Monsters are blessed by Sauron with increased damage and toughness. It is a corruption though, which means we should be able to dispel it with anything that gets rid of corruptions, so that's nice. Variant 4 is Malice 4, Blood Rage 1. Enemies take and deal 25% less damage until at 40% health. Then monsters take and deal and take 25% more damage. Okay. Number 5 is Variant 4, Malice 5. Sauron's army. After a brief induction, the enemy calls upon their allies to join the fight against you. So they're going to call in help. We'll try to dispel that. Try to catch them out in the middle of doing that. Don't let that pass through. Number 6 gives us Malice 6, Variant 4. Encroaching Shadow. Monsters summon the shadows to cover them and mitigate damage. Okay. And number 7 is let's see, this is Lingering Fear. A monster attack that will greatly reduce your ability to heal yourself and others. Cleanse yourself. Okay, so this is like a poison type of thing that they put on us, an effect you'll put on us. But thankfully I should be able to use my Purge Poison to cleanse that. And then we have, so their Delving Strength, which should match up with what we read before. So he's got 180% max morale, plus 300 melee damage, range damage, and tactical damage. So he's heartier and stronger. Sauron's Touch, that's the corruption, enhancing nearby allies. And Blood Rage, enemies give and take less damage at high health. So we read that before. Okay, so exciting stuff. Lost Shire says, basically no Leroy Jenkins moves. Sensible. We like to stop and take a look and see what we're up against. Sometimes the combinations end up being a bit exciting. But Pobelland Academy says wrong game. But yes, but it's still the reference still works. So we're going to try not to just go running in without thinking about what we're doing. And let's see, do I have line of sight on him? So, oh, you have somebody. Okay, well, we'll attack this one then. Oops, and I used my interrupt too early, and now this guy has hurt us. Speaking of those buffs and things, I might take some food real quick. Yeah, before it says, right genre though. Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, we don't want to just run in aimlessly and get ourselves caught out here. So we're skipping by some folks. And we need to take out 12 altogether. So here we're going to find out what happens. So I'm going to go through the full series of my thing. So I get myself invisible, I do a burn hot, I do improved focus, and then I'm going to do a heart seeker on him. And it does take him out. Cool. So it is possible to one-shot them with enough power behind it. So that's nice. Now, that was with me, you know, preparing and all of that. When we're caught out like this, not as likely. Let's undo the army. Awesome. Cool. So the boxes, the treasure boxes we're looking for, we know they're on the top of this hill. So we're taking the time to work our way up there. That's where we're headed, so that's why we're paused here. Is that guy coming around? Oh yeah, here he is. Nice. I managed to trap him there. I have something purple on me. What is this? I don't know what's gone. Whoa! No. Okay. Alright, cool. Oh, my cooked food has run out, so... Wow, that was fast. Or maybe I moved before I finished eating it. Okay, 10-minute duration. There we go. Oops. Don't go too far. Alright, so I'm going to do my thing and... Oops. Oh, we're going to take out the lookout first. No worries. So I'm going to go through my whole routine here. Now, they probably are, yep, linked with other things, which is fine. We don't kind of expect that. Which means, by that, I mean that you attack one and the others notice. And so you are in combat not just with the one, but with the others as well, even though you only attacked one of them. Now we have a patrol that is somebody who's walking back and forth here. So I'm going to wait. Oh, and a cutthroat. So I'm going to wait for this guy and see if I can take him out when he's not next to anybody else. Nope, he saw one of us. I'm going to say Affadil since he attacked you. Now, what we can do, because the others also saw us, is we can get out of their line of sight, and so they're going to have to come around to hit us, hopefully. Oops, let me get out of that puddle. That doesn't look good. Alright, I put a trap down that trapped that guy. You have something purple on you. Cool. Cool. Alright. So now, yeah, we'll take a minute. Thankfully, Affadil is a healer. He was able to heal us up if we need it. That cutthroat is still sneaking around, so I'm going to unsneak them here. If I can. Come on. Oh, oh, oh. No, they just went out of line of sight, little turkey. Give me a sec. Come on, come on, come on. Come back. There we go. Well, alright. I've lost some of the buffs that I had there, but that's okay. Oh! And he managed to get out a helper. So what it does is it basically, yeah, as that guy was dying, he sent out this giant, whatever that was, which then when that dies, sent out that other thing. So, like, little nesting doll. Okay, so we know with this one, we're about to touch that chest, and when we do, some spirits are gonna come out. We already know it's a trap. So we're gonna set some traps for them. Haha. Okay, yes, you found the huge treasure cache. Okay, I am ready whenever you are. Oh no! Some cursed spirits. Who could have ever suspected this would happen? Hopefully we were ready. Okay, so now, one more time. And we're going to get somebody else. And we know she's going to come from over there. Surely it's safe now. My name's not Shirley. And there she is. Captain Shendy Grey Eye has arrived to claim the treasure as their own. But we are stopping. Alright, ta-da! So we don't even have to worry about the treasure. I mean, it's implied that we actually finally got it picked up. So, alright. And thankfully a scout comes to escort us back here to the Bloody Eagle safely. So there we go. Ooh, excuse me a second. There we go. Hey, Dame Hypatia says, hello, dear gentle hobbits. Hello. How are you this evening? So we go back to our person and we turn in the mission, which we completed. And then we also turn in the delving piece of the mission. So we did a tier 7, which was an emerald. And what they give us in return from that is some legendary item experience, which is what I'm after. And we get a delving chest, which has a 1-hour cooldown. So if you don't open it within that hour, it goes poof and you don't get it. And then you get a delving emerald, because when you go in, you have to use your emerald to put into the, hang on, I'll show you, to go into the delving stone. Now, here's an annoying edge case. So Affodil got into this mission before me. So if Affodil had gone and interacted with the delving stone and done all of that, and then I arrived, I don't get credit for doing the delving portion of it. I would never, she says, which we've had this happen a few times. So we've learned, hopefully, to like, we try to like verbalize to each other, hey, I'm here. Okay, so I'll show you how this works. So I'm in the mission and I have the mission things I need to do. If I could click on a bad guy, which I cannot at this time because they haven't spawned in yet, but if I could, they wouldn't have all that extra stuff on them. But I'm going to go ahead and interact with the delving stone. And you see I have up through 12 different tiers that I can choose. Tier 1 makes it, you know, a little more difficult. They get some of those things and all of that. Those effects that we ran into earlier. And then as you get further and further along, the effects get stronger. They multiply, you know, there'll be more and more different effects that are on them. So at tier 7, we're kind of like, you know, in the second half of the dangerous stuff. Excuse me. So basically 1 through 6 is, you know, like the first half, and then 7 through 12 is the second half. So we're just into the second half of hardness. And you'll see that there's 3 different tiers for each of the different gems. So for a zircon, you could do 1, 2, or 3. With a garnet, you could do 4, 5, or 6. With an emerald, you could do 7, 8, or 9. And with an amethyst, you could do 10, 11, and 12. So I'm going to use my emerald that we just got. Oh, so here's a fun thing. So I'm going to put my emerald into this stone. And then it basically, once it's in the stone, it kind of cracks it. But once we leave, that's why they give me a new emerald. So they're like, hey, thanks for doing that. Here's an emerald for doing that. We really appreciate that. So if I were to do a 9, if you do the last one in each group, they give you the gem for the next one. So that's why, like, if I finish this one, they give me an emerald because that's number 8. Okay, but that's the same thing. And if I do number 8, they give me an emerald because that's number 9. But if I do number 9, they give me an amethyst, so I can go on to number 10 next. So that's one way you can get the next gem, is just by completing the delving. So, but here it tells me, yeah, so I will get these things if I complete this. Okay, so I accept this tier 7 quest, and now I'm going to take my delving emerald and I fit it into the fissure within this delving stone. The emerald cracks, and the darkness within this emerald there was like this darkness inside the gem, and it creeps out of the stone and moves into the air as a black tendril. A flash of dread fills you, but passes. And we see a vile malice spreads through the area. So basically the storyline as it is that we are, these stones, these emeralds and amethysts and whatnot have been found, but they seem like there's something dark inside. They can't quite figure out what's going on. So we encounter these delving stones. We put, those big delving stones, and we stick our gem inside there, and that stone manages to crack it open. But then the darkness that was inside there comes out. And so then it's our job to then take care of defeating the things that have now been infected by this malice. So thereby the hope is malice was in the stone, now it's out, it's in these creatures, defeat the creatures, and the malice goes away. That's the idea. Not sure how effective it is, but that's the idea. They have interesting theories. Cool, that worked. So Sandy says, listening while I put together some shelving. Very nice. Yes, I'm glad I can provide you with something interesting to listen to while you're unpacking and setting up your new home. Good times. It's nice to have a distraction from that, to take part of your mind away from it. Makes the time go faster, I think, right? I appreciated, though, that your board games were one of the priorities. That's pretty awesome. As you know, we, as some of you know, Before and myself are big on board gaming. That's actually how we met. Was through a board gaming event that we were both attending. And that was pretty awesome, finding somebody who shares a hobby, enjoyment, passion, as it were, that you do. It's always nice. So, and it's fun. We've found there's a lot of other things that we also can share, other hobbies. We both now knit, and we both crochet, and we both play Lotro. We both stream Lotro. We both enjoy our cats. Enjoy having the cats, I guess. Oh, what is going on there? There we go. Lots of good hobbies. So, oh, anyway, yeah. So we introduced a friend, a newer friend, to Wingspan the other day, and then they were talking with apparently a friend of theirs. And they were like, yeah, I just played this new game, but we're having trouble figuring it out. And they're like, you know, and they got a little bit of a description. And they're like, was it Wingspan? And they're like, yes. How did you know? I'm like, you know, and they're telling me that story, and it's just like the coincidence of that is just crazy. I'm like, yeah, but Wingspan is a pretty good game. Like, and it's very popular, and it's become somewhat well known. Like, yeah, it's permeated various circles, like people who don't play a lot of games, people who do, people who like looking birds and bird watching. So it's really interesting how Wingspan has just crossed so many different kind of groups. It's a good game. So it's fun to watch the influence continue. More board gamers, you say? Yes. I feel like somebody should give us a commission on this. Egg Arthur says the delving gem is basically a consumable now. Well, you can't really consume it though. Oh, I see what you're saying. Before I was saying when you do the quest, it consumes the gem. That's true. Egg Arthur says there used to be a cracked delving gem item but they simplified the system, but the quick test still refers to the cracking. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, you used to end up with a cracked gem in your inventory if you left and failed, whereas now I think you just don't get anything. We did that one day. I left and failed. I don't think I had a cracked one. Here's a fun thing though, is, okay, so, I forgot to open my chest though. Let me do that real quick before I space that out again. So I have, I don't have it. I'll show you. When we leave this, and I turn it in, I'll get an emerald. But the funny thing is, so will Affodil. So we consume one and we get two. So you could, like, basically, if you know the other person is going to be doing the gem, you could sell yours and then go into the next delving, because you can only have one in your inventory. It's like it's a unique item, and you're only allowed to have one in your inventory at a time. So you could sell it. Was it only 22 copper? Oh, okay, that's not much. No, I just looked over and Casper's like rolling around on the poof trying to get her attention. Kato's sitting there watching him. Oh yeah, we have to find and fell the great horn. Oh, usually it's, let's see, the scout's over there. It's usually in this area, isn't it? It's like a geographical thing. We have to wander to where it is. But yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so when they first started the delving system, they actually had it was like 9 or 10 levels, and they had a different gem for each level. And so you literally did have to work your way up, or you could buy them, but that was, hey, there it is. Now they're playing the cats. Oh, anyway, sorry. So yeah, you had to, like, you had to have, like, you know, all 9 in your inventory. Like, it took up so many spots, it was crazy. So I'm glad that they simplified the system, and now there's only 4 gems you have to worry about. Whoa! I think somebody just fell off the table. They're behind over here. But I think they were wrestling on the footstool and tumbled off by mistake. Oh yeah, good point. Before points out that if you like Wingspan and you want to hear what the different birds sound like that are in the game, there's an app called Wing Song, which also was recommended, and they were very excited about it, by the way. So yeah, so when you're playing the game, you have cards that have birds on them, and so there's an app somebody put together. Do you have need of something? Where you can you just point it at the your phone at the bird, at the card, and it looks at it and it can tell what bird it is, and then it plays what the song that bird does. It's really clever. Okay, so this is the mission stuff. So I'm going to get some legendary item experience, a modest gift of Yuri, an eagle bit, and a ledger keeper's mark, because I joined the ledger keeper, I guess. Yeah, hi. So now I'm also turning in the delving portion of it, and that gives me that LI experience, the delving chest, and the delving emerald. Oh yes, there's at least one Easter egg in there for the greater roadrunner. Yes. So remember, so now I have an emerald that I didn't have because I had stuck it in the stone. So now I have an emerald. Excuse me. And then there's the delving box. So I'm going to open it. And then whatever comes out of it, it doesn't have a timer. So that is a delving box of crafting materials. Okay, cool. We'll just slide that down for a second. Oh, hey, I wanted to go ahead and take that. Awesome. Okay, so infestation of crabs.
There is much to be done, and fewer
okay, and I'm not reading the text on these out loud. So if that, because I don't want to necessarily spoil all of the flavor text and stuff. So since it's a kind of a newer area, I thought it might be nice if people haven't made their way out here yet, they can come and read all the fun flavor text. So, but you can kind of gently follow along with what we're doing here. So this one, the there's these giant crabs and they're attacking the ship and like poking their way through. It cracks me up. So what we tend to do with this one is I go and fix the leaks because there are leaks in the boat, and I don't mean the onion style. And then Affadil goes and pew-pews the, well, I guess you don't pew-pew as a minstrel, you la. Yeah. Goes and screams at things and they fall over. I hope that's not like a commentary on your singing. Let's see, where are you? There you are. Alright, so I'm going to kind of follow you because you're the one who's doing all the hunting. So funny thing is there's leaks on multiple levels. So like on this level and then the one below us. But you can, some of the leaks you can fix from this level. So if you happen to be just standing like right on top of it. So it's kind of fun. Oops. Are you downstairs? Okay. There's a set of stairs here. It took us a while to figure that out the first time. There we go. And then, oh, more crabs. Awesome. There should be another leak around here. Oh, did I get it? Oh, we got the leaks, and we got all the people. I mean, crabs. So now there's 2 giant crabs we gotta go find. And they are back here drinking all the ale. There we go, and one more. Cool. So it's saying across here, you know, defeated giant crabs. It's a little behind. My quest text says speak with Deshra, who is at the top of the stairs. Oh no, sorry. The scout is at the top of the stairs. Deshra is in there. Yeah, Egg Arthur says, yeah, for minis it's not so much a pew-pew as an ah. Oh, when you come out of the instance, sometimes it takes a second for it to process that you are out. So sometimes you kind of have to wait a second to be able to turn in all of your things. So, oh, and on the boat missions, there's no delving stone. So we don't have a delving to turn in. All right, but this one, even though it says ship of wraiths,
Do you have need of
I think they're talking about like a ship that's been wrecked. That is a shipwreck. Because here we are, and we're not on a ship. So, you know, there's that. Oh, how funny. It says, Deed Tracker thinks you moved from unknown to an instance. That's kind of funny. Remote quest missions. Yep. Let's see. A. Arthur says the other one on a boat is protecting the sea lanes. Indeed. Shall I do the delving? Okay. I will do the delving stone. We do emerald, level 7. And continue. Also, because 7 is, I think, the lowest you can do to, maybe 6 is, to do that one delving quest. That one weekly quest. Let me see if I can find it. I think yeah, tier 6 and higher. So we could do it at tier 6. But what? Oh, my food ran out too. Oh, I have a journey to the ledger keepers. Oh, it's a self thing, I think. I don't think it's a skill. It came out of my mail. All right. Oh, what am I doing? This one, and then that. Oh, Agartha says they removed Delvings from the boat once because of physics issues. I mean, it's fine. I don't mind it. I just think it's funny that sometimes we're like, oh yes, we're on a boat. No delving. So it's just amusing. Who did you talk to? Oh, this guy. Hey. Light collar, no more calling. Cool. So Loshire says, I finished the volume 1 epic on my champion, and now my Runekeeper is doing it now. Also, All I've done for like 3 weeks is catch up on the Volume 1 epic. My Marinade will be doing as much as she can on level now. It's so funny because, yeah, I kept starting new characters. I went through that where I was like, let me try this one, you know, and then I'd be like, oh, I didn't really like that stuff so much. Let me try this instead. And I would enjoy that. But then I was like, oh, let me try this instead. And so then I also went through kind of a phase where I was like, I need a character to hold things. This is before carry-alls existed. And so I made, you know, a storage alt, right? But then my storage alt, I would start playing it. And then I'm like, well, now I need storage to help out my storage alt. So I would start another one. So by the time I got to like 5 characters, I was like, what am I doing? Because I would play each of them at the festivals, and I would start playing them through some of the you know, storyline, and so it became like this real hodgepodge of what each character had done, and it was such a, I don't know, it was a, yeah, and one of my characters, so once you start getting up in level, you start getting like a mail from, you know, Barlaman or Horn, or, you know, somebody from Rohan, or somebody from Gondor, or you end up getting these messages, you know, somebody from the High Wall, or whatever that thing was called, the West Wall, the East Wall, I forget what it's called. Anyway, you get, and so these things just end up coming to you, and so you get a quest associated with it, because the idea is they're like, the game is trying to direct you to where you might need to go next. The problem is I wasn't finished with the previous spot. And so next thing I know, I've got like, you know, a level, I don't know, 80, 90 character with quests ranging from like 45 to 85 to take me all these different places. And I'm like, but I've never even been these places. I've never heard of them yet. Give me time, you know? It's like, so it was a bit disjointed feeling. And I was having trouble with that. And then I was like, you know, and I would be like, well, I don't know, where am I supposed to go yet? Am I supposed to go here? Am I supposed to go there? Like, it was not clear to me. And that also was frustrating. So I'd end up with characters with just quests all over the place, and it felt really chaotic. So I'd end up being like, well, I'll just go play these other characters because I understand how to deliver pies in the Shire. Like, that's pretty straightforward. You know? And so yeah, I kept ending up doing the same things over and over again with a lot of my characters. To the point where there's actually expansions that we've bought and we're like, we haven't played them yet. Like, we still haven't been into the 3 Peaks, really. Like, we've done some of the missions and stuff, but we haven't actually done the storyline yet. Gundabad, like, actually, we've only been through the Mordor storyline once out of all of our characters, and it's not on any of our current completionist characters. Oh, we're looking for a brine drinker. Hang on. They're ancient evil, aren't they? Yeah. So ancient. Brine. Wait. Okay, let me stop these. Blight. Color. Brine drinker. There it is. Oh, they're a drowned brine drinker. There we go. That direction. Yeep. Where are you going? Okay. So we're kind of like trying to skirt around some of these things because we don't really need to talk to those dark waters. Alright, cool. Let's take a look. Before says, anytime a game is able to put you on a boat and not have you fall through into the ocean to your death, then it's doing better than WoW first did. That's funny. I can't imagine how hard some of this has got to be. Like, the physics of water itself is just crazy. Yeah. Alright, so now we gotta go defeat Rufaro the Rancorous. Alright, we'll grab a drink while we're running over to Rufalo. Or Rufaro. There we go. He roars in rage at the sight of the escaping sailors. I like the alliteration going on here. Hey! Stop being out of my line of sight. Stop calling your friends. I know, I got so many things. Alright, yay! We defeated him. Hey, Scout! I would like to go back to your tavern. That sounds great. Alright, so we can go turn this in. Card.
Might you spare a moment?
Bum ba bum. There's the delving, and there's the mission.
Might you spare a moment?
And there's a box. Let's take a look. It was delving writs. And there's my delving emerald. And there I have 4 crab legs to give to you in a bit. Cool. Mission ill-fated cave.
What news has come in with the tide?
Alright, let's jump in on that. Oh, Lost Hobbit says Bullroarer has just reopened. Oh yeah, what's happening over on Bullroarer? What are we looking at today? Is it... What is it? Is it more? I've lost track. Oh. Oh my gosh, we're in a cave, so I keep expecting us to be over on the Wildwood. There's a lot of cave action over in the Wildwood, and I keep thinking that's what that is. So what we have to do in this one is we go through and we're clearing this rubble like that. It really doesn't take long. And there's 12 rubbles to clear. And then as you go along, like say I'll clear this rubble. And there might be a trapped miner. So we're helping them get untrapped, and they're gonna take off. So we don't have to escort them out, they figure it out. Oh, thanks before. So apparently tomorrow, Wednesday, Scenario is doing a casual stroll. Does it say where? Doesn't say where. So for those who are not aware, Scenario is an SSG employee, unlike most of us who stream here. Most of us who stream on this channel are just fans of the game. But Scenario actually works for SSG, who is the company who puts this out. And he is one of the world designers. So a lot of like textures and, oh, let's put this rock here, and oh, let's make it, you know, this cave look like this, and yeah, all these various details and broad strokes he is very much involved with. So so every so often he'll do what he calls a casual stroll, where he goes through a zone and kind of tells us a bit more about like some of the decisions that they made and how things came together, and as he walks around in the place. Now it's really cool too, because he's he'll do it on one of their test servers, so he's got like this crazy admin stuff going on, so he can do like these jumps, or he just like leaps over like the whole entire place, and so it's really cool because every so often you get this really amazing look from far above that you wouldn't have the ability to see any other way. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so Loshire says Bullroarer is doing beta 3 for update 39, which is Central and Eastern Gondor. Wow, okay, all right, cool. Okay, so we've cleared enough rocks out of here, and notice we didn't have to beat up any of the things. We had to find this great jewel here from the deepest of the cave areas, so we'll grab that. Oh no, but now we have to escape the entrance before the mine collapses, and we have 1.5 minutes to do it. Yeesh. Oh, I was going to point out, so we haven't had to defeat any of these workers, which is great. The first time we came in here, we started hitting them, and then we realized they're all yellow. They have a yellow bar if you click on it, so let me see if I can click on the next one. There you go. So that guy there, he has a yellow bar, which means they're like passive, they don't care. They're not going to attack us. But if we attack them, then the bar turns red and they'll attack us back. So that seems reasonable, right? Okay, cool. We found the Umbari Scout. Our mission is complete. We can leave now. Oh, Oh, Egg Arthur says for the one that we were just in, you go down south and trace a backwards S, more or less, and that way you end up right next to the gym. Clever. I get lost in that one. So what we tend to do is when you're in a mission together. Wait, where's the delving piece of this? Oh, there was no delving. Right, it was a cave and there's nothing to fight. If there's nothing to fight, it doesn't make sense to put a delving on, I suppose. That makes sense.
Might you spare a moment?
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so in the cave, what we end up doing is with a instances, missions, it counts for everybody basically. Like the whole area is the whole zone. So hang on, seven. Okay, cool. So I stand by the door. Affadil runs through, does the things, grabs the people, because the people and the rocks are generally right next to each other, and then heads back. Oh, grabs the gem, and then I think that just by me standing at the entrance, then that completes it. So we don't have that minute and a half. We don't have to worry about it. We're like, we're already there. And then we can just leave. So yeah, we do that. Oh, Shire, I got it wrong. Okay. The casual stroll is central and eastern Gondor. Beta 3 is the raid for Umbar stuff. And the 3-man instance that they've added in or whatever. So, well, there's like a whole Gondor-y thing going on, right? There's like Central Gondor, Eastern Gondor, Western Gondor. There could be like a Southern Gondor, right? Like, right? Oh no, there's King's Gondor. That's what it was. So that's what I was thinking. Maybe you were talking about that. Okay, there we go. We got our people to show up. I think the lookout is the more dangerous of the two. So I'm going to attack that one. Awesome. And because I just took it out with one shot, it didn't even wake up the other guy. Whoa. Okay. Agartha says they have a 3-man, a 6-man, and a partial raid up on Bullroarer. There's still another 3-man that they haven't opened yet. But what about the women? What if we want to raid? I know. Alright, and then B4 has posted a link to the forums. Oops, I went the one without the sun, sorry. Let's get rid of that lookout. Lookout's dangerous. Cool. Let's see, and the beta Corsairs of Umbar Arenas of Conflict Instance Cluster. Oh, that's quite the name, isn't it? Cool. We've done this one a few times, so we kind of like gotten used to where the hiding people are. Like the and the patrol. And if you let them come close enough, then they don't trigger the other things behind them, which is nice. If anybody's ever played Tokaido, there's a thing where you have monkeys, where you go to the hot springs and you get points based on how many monkeys are on the card.
2 points for no monkeys, 3 points for monkeys.
2 points for no monkeys? 3 points for monkeys?
Don't show an image of monkeys.
Presence of monkeys is good. I didn't remember that the cards were blank. Okay, so in Tokaido, if there's monkeys on the card, you get 3 points at the hot springs. And if there's no monkeys on the card, you only get 2 points. Because the monkeys are like good luck for you there. So every time we see the monkeys here, I always think of Takedo. And I'm like, hey, extra points because the monkeys are here. All right, there should be a hidden one, a sniper. Not a sniper, what do they call it? A sneaky. There's a sneaky around here. Right about here. I'll just put down a trap. I don't think that guy actually comes down this way. Yeah. No, it's up here by the tree. By the bush. Yeah. Right there. Oh, no. Nice. Hi. Did you want to come set mine up, babe? There's a Kato nearby. You can see her tail. Hello. You know, one of these days I'll remember to wear a light colored shirt so you can see her against me and then you'll know where she's at. Because she's very dark. She's not completely black or anything. She just is dark. Especially against my brown sweater. Alright, yeah. Sweet girl. So I didn't set up the cat cam today because she's being a little fussy about her bed. She was being weird and not wanting to get into it, and it was like kind of like a divot, and so I thought, okay, well maybe something's not right with her bed. So I picked up the pillow and I fluffed it a little bit. Well, apparently that wasn't what she wanted because now she won't even go near it. So I'll try and put her in it later. Oh my goodness, kitty cat, you're funny. You silly girl. You are a silly girl. She likes to crawl. So my desk is here, and I've got a footstool underneath. And so what I do is I put a blanket over my legs, and then I stretch my legs out, so it makes kind of like a little canopy for her, a little hammock almost. But I'm flat on the footstool, so she's not going to fall through. But she likes to go under the table, and then she turns around, and so she's facing me, and then she's laying out underneath the desk. But this time I'm not sure what's going on, and she's gone head first. Did not turn around. This is the second time today that she's laid down on my lap in what looks to be a very uncomfortable position. And, yeah. And, yeah. I don't know. She's just being weird. Before I was pulling up an image of the Takedo cards to show me. But yes. No monkeys. 2 points. Monkeys. 3 points. Somebody says compatibility with 4K UI win. I don't know. In case you missed it, I don't work for SSG. Scenario does work for SSG, and he streams on here once a month doing the casual strolls like we talked about earlier. But he is also not an engineer, so he is not involved with that aspect of the game. Not him. Severlin is the SSG is the executive producer, and so Severlin is the one who has better answers for that. Uh-oh, bad stuff happened. Need you. Oh, it hasn't all happened yet. No, I tried to just attack the 3, and I did manage it, but now they've seen me. Maybe because I ran away? I'm not sure. Let me get into... I don't know. Yeah, I thought I caught it before the patrol got there, but perhaps not. Well, I had already done all my stuff. That's the problem. Dang it. Should I run back, or you want to do the thing? Do you want to... You're going to res me? Okay, thanks. So yeah, so LV Joe Toby, I don't know. I think... I know... Okay, so so Severlin, like I said, who's the executive producer, he has a 4K like monitor, and so he has a personal interest also in getting 4K compatibility. He has talked about it a little bit, and basically the scoop with it is that everything you see on the screen, so like all these little buttons that I have for all my skills, and all the things there, and all the little icons like under here, like everything you see was created for, you know, what they have. So they have to go and redo every single one of those things in order to make it compatible with 4K. Because I don't know, like if you've ever looked at like an old 8-bit, you know, thing, and it looks great when you're playing on like a GameCube or something, but when you try to blow that up, it just looks horrible. It's like, you know, 8 giant pixels and that look like nothing, right? So that's the problem, is if they just blow these up, they're not going to look like what they're supposed to look like. They have to literally redo them all, which is a lot of time, a lot of people power, and oh, you just shot it away. Oops. It does. Yeah. Usually if it gets by me, I gotta chase after it. Alright, who's next? You are. Look out. You better look out, look out. Alright, that wasn't funny, but anyway, so I know that that's one of the holdups, because their intention is to put out a new expansion every fall now. They've kind of fallen into that as a routine, and then they have stuff throughout the year that they're also doing, and then so when to fit in the 4K stuff, I don't know what's, so they haven't really said what's their plan on that. But there is a year thingy. There it is, thank you. Before I did post the link to that, to the roadmap. They've been pretty good about putting out a roadmap the last few years. Maybe they did this a long time ago as well, I don't know. I've only been around like 4 or 5 years, but playing Lotro, that is. So yeah, it's like a letter to the players. It's very high level overview kinds of things, but they've this year it was really cool. They had it like in the different sections, so quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. I think they did that last year too. And it's a nice visual, because you can kind of like get a good idea of like, okay, this is what they have in mind. And I think Severlin was in an interview and was like, that's not all we have in mind to do this year, but that's all that we're like committing to doing this year. And there's other things we would also like to accomplish this year. So like the 4K, I don't think it's on that list. It's actually been a month or two since I've been there. So okay, so 4K is not explicitly on there, thank you. Yeah. Alright, so I don't see Affadil, so I'm not going to touch that Delving stone. Hey, there you are. Alright, ready? Cool. 7. Cool. Also, if anybody's ever like wanting a little bit of SSG, you know, what's going on kind of stuff, on Fridays, Cordovan does his show called Court of the Rings, and he is the SSG community manager, which I was trying to say earlier, and so he's like, you know, the interface between the company and the people, as it were. So he's also good for asking questions, and he can give answers if he has them. And if he doesn't know, he'll just say he doesn't have that, or, you know, he'll have to get back to you, or they just don't have an answer for that at this time, you know. Programming, while based, you know, on ones and zeros, is interestingly not always straightforward. So sometimes like something that you think is going to be like Oh, that's a 3-hour bit of work. I can get that done. Boom, boom, boom. And then there's just one little thing that just does not work. And your 3-hour thing turns into a 30-hour thing. And yeah. So that's why sometimes, like, people will say, well, why can't you give us, like, the exact answer? And it's because of things like that. Because, yeah, it's only supposed to take so long. But what is it really going to take? That's a great answer. That's a great question. If we had the answer, we would be probably rich. Oops, I'm standing in a puddle. I don't want to be in that. Let's get rid of you guys. Nope, 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 nope. Awesome. So in this one, we're trying to collect those research papers, and we also have to deal with some nests that are out there. And these workers are yellow, so we don't need to attack and deal with those workers. We do have to deal with those burrowers that are wandering around. So that's why we're kind of like checking for the burrowers and trying to take them out, and we don't have to worry about the rest of them. Hey, baby. Yeah, Cool Witch says, I'm hoping for two-factor authentication also gets done. Indeed. Yeah, and before it says, I think SSG has said they're incorporating it into the new launcher. I think I do recall something about that, about how they do need to do a new launcher, and I think that that's one of the things in the way of the two-factor authentication. But that, I think that's on the list. I mean, I could have sworn that Severlin's talked about that. Whenever Severlin does an interview, I try to make sure I go listen to it, because there's usually some good insight there. And so he did an interview with, was it Bloodborne? Another streamer. And it was like an hour long, so a lot. They touched on a lot of stuff. It was a good interview. Oh, there it is. So like I said, we're taking out these burrowers, but we don't have to deal with the other things. Well, that might have stuff by it. Huh? This one we just did, right? And the burrowers seem to have like a really wide range for some reason. Oh, and that guardian. That guardian's got something going on. We gotta take that out too. Yeah, Dame Hypatia says, the more expansions I buy, the more I'd like to have two-factor authentication. You kind of protect your stuff, right? Makes sense. Uh-oh. No, no Sauron's army. No, 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 no. No army for you. You've got something on you. I'm trying to get you cleansed up. Oh my goodness. Seriously. Oh, you're good. Okay, now it's me. Yeah, Loshire says you heard that as well. Yeah. About the incorporating it into the launcher. Okay, so are we clear here? Looks like all yellow. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go take a look at this beetle nest. Cool, and then I'm gonna run back to Apto because we know that's safe over here. Let's see, we've got a burrower over there. Okay, cool. So these research papers are probably safe. Oh, there's a guardian over there. That might be too close. Nope, that's too close to the guardian. Alright, so I'll wait. Those research papers and that are that burrower. Alright, so this burrower here is protecting that nest and those research papers. Excuse me. So we're gonna see if we can take, and I'm gonna see if I can single target that burrower rather than do an area attack, because I don't want anybody else who's over there who I don't need to attack. Oh man, really? It was line of sight and then it turned around. There we go. Cool. And we'll go to the beetle nest. Okay, cool. Man, we still have a bunch of nests to destroy. Oops, they saw me. I got a little close. Yep, now we woke up that worker too. Okay. Yeah, do all your AoEs then. Alright, cool. So yeah, before does mention in the chat the recommendation to make a long and complicated password for your login, like, you know, scribbly diggly doodle, you know, all sorts of chaos in there. And then he says, and then use the -password command line parameter in your Lotro shortcut so you don't have to actually type your monstrous password. So it's saved like on your local computer, but not, you know, like somebody can't go and grab it. Unlike these burrowers, they can go and grab. Man, we found 3 of them, 4 of them. I'm impressed. And a worker. Just bring the whole party. So sometimes you'll see they have an induction bar. I've got that showing that if I'm targeted on it, it'll show me if they're doing an induction. And I'm trying to stop those inductions. I have one skill that interrupts things like that. Well, one distance skill, one range skill. I do have a close range skill that also interrupts, but oh my goodness. What the heck did he do? Yep, so that's why I'm trying to interrupt those things when I can. Cool. Alright, what else? That's all that's on this area, so we gotta scoot over to the other side. And I did see a burrower out the other side, so we know there's more nearby. There's a beetle nest and research papers over here. And then there's something over onto our right, I believe. Oh, there's a guardian. There it is. Da, 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 da. Cool, which said, I hadn't thought of that. I do change my password fairly often. That's good. Agartha points out, though, if somebody can get access to your shortcut properties, they could get access to your Lotro account. So pros and cons. That's funny. But yeah, before says, approaches if it's easy for a human to type, it's easy for a computer to crack. So yes, don't make your stuff easy, is the hope. Well, don't get hacked, right? Well, there is a burrower nearby, and it probably would see me. So we'll go ahead and do this. Before says says to Agartha that if someone has physical access to your computer, they own it. Sure. Yes. Anyway, just yeah, lots of comments about passwords and stuff in the chat. Bottom line, have strong passwords. Don't get hacked. Two-factor authentication is nice. Oops, that's not the button I meant to push. No. Okay, cool. Don't do the hunter thing where I shoot random stuff. looking for one more pack of research papers. It should be around here somewhere. It's probably near some of the red dots that we haven't taken out. Still looking. Basically, this dude's research papers went flying. I'm thinking the other direction because that's where the red dots are. Oh, there's more red dots over here. Never mind. I'd rather not get into combat with that. Where are you at? So here's a fun fact, is you run slower when you're in combat. Hey, I found some papers. Oh, now we have to defeat the Hive Queen. Which, I forget where she shows up. Oh yeah, she's on top of the hill, I think. Also, I think a lizard saw me. Basking rockworm. You know, he could still be basking in the sun. He really didn't have to come after me. I totally would have just ignored him. Speaking of, yeah. I don't know if you can see that dark lump on the couch there. That's one of the cats. He's sleeping. I am unsurprised by this. He often comes down and sleeps on the couch while we're streaming. Where is she? Oh, right behind me? No, that's something else. That is a burrower, though. Hey, 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 stop it, stop it. No, they got their thing off. They got off an ability which allowed them to call in an extra and stuff. There's the Hive Queen. She's kind of slow, which is nice. But I think it's funny too that like when you shoot something of a larger size, oh, my arrow's gone, but my arrow was huge because she's huge. It scales it up, which is really funny. Dame Hypatia asks, are foreign letters allowed in Lotro passwords like German umlauts? I have no idea.
There is much to be done.
There's probably, I would guess, something on the Lotro site somewhere about that. Maybe not.
What news has come
Hang on, I
in
gotta
detail?
open my delving box. I got a Seafarer's Flickering Essence box, which they're just kind of piling up over there. Ooh, a taste for crab. We should do that to get you some more crab legs, right?
There is much to be done, and fewer hands by which to do it.
So we'll pop in for that. And I probably have in my inventory, yeah, here we go. So these sparkly looking things are Modest Gifts of Uri. It is a handful of ancient Umbari coins prized by the citizens, excuse me, and desired by the Order of the Eagle and the Ledger Keepers. So we joined the Ledger Keepers allegiance. So when I take these, when I consume these, let me see, let me go to my allegiance. So character, allegiances. So I'm currently at level 10 and I'm like, that's how far I am through the bar. So you can watch my bar move as I consume these. Ka-plunk, ka-plunk, ka-plunk. There we go. So I've gone up to the next level, which then takes me to level 11, which gives me this thing I can claim, which is the Ledger Keeper marks. Oh, when I got to 10, I got to return to the Ledger Keepers. That's neat. So I can go ahead and claim level 11 there. And then I've got 2 more. So that gets me 400 out of 1700. So that's kind of cool. Yay, you completed level 11. Awesome. That's what I was looking at, those flickering boxes. I don't know what to do with those flickering essence boxes. Let's see, the crafting materials. Are we still doing ore?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay. What we've been doing is, so when you open those delving boxes, sometimes it gives you another box to open, but the other box isn't timed, so that's nice. And it's like, you know, a selection box for a crafting material. So you can choose ore, wood, scholar materials, like all these, you know, whatever different category. And so we've been trying to level up our prospectors, our prospecting abilities, so that way we can pick up ore, you know, while we're out and doing stuff. Oh, it looks like I got disconnected from the chat for a moment there. Well, I will assume that the stream is fine. Okay. So Dame Hypatia was looking at the password thing and says, apparently Lotro says it has to contain at least 3 English letters. B4 says he hasn't had trouble with special characters like parentheses and @ symbols and those sorts of things. Just make a pass where you just go straight across the top of the cube, top of the do all the symbols on top of the numbers. That'd be funny. Is your password 1234? No, it's exclamation point @ symbol hashtag $. That's not 1234. There we go. So this one we're collecting shellfish from these traps, which is awesome, but unfortunately most of these traps have some sort of a crab nearby who will attack you when you get close to the trap, I would say. And then once we have collected all of these, now we need to go find the crab mother, who is that one. She is coming out to avenge her children or something like that. But she moves really slowly, so that's nice. Aw, she's going right past my traps. Thank you. I appreciate that you ran over so she can go through my traps. And I love it when the giant creatures are trippable. It's like, it's fantastic. It makes me so happy when they fall down and just get tripped. There's an instance that we do sometimes, and there's like this giant dragon comes flying down, and then I put down one of those traps and it goes ka-thump and it like lands within space and it cracks me up. Alright, fair enough. B4 says, I would never use a hashtag in my profile, maybe an octothorpe though. Fair enough. I love this guy too. He's like, you smell terrible, but you've gathered enough for a great feast. Let's show everyone what you've collected. Oh yeah, Dame Hypatia. Perhaps better not to use German letters, because it might make it more difficult when you're at an international keyboard. Or not at an international keyboard, you know, depending on your perspective there.
Do you have need of something?
Yeah, and this guy, when you come back with all the crabs, he's like, thank you for this. It may seem silly, but it's little things that keep us going, keep our hearts strong, and our will determined. And I just love crab. That's why he sent you off to go deal with the crab.
There is much to be done. And few are
Alright, so I
hands
have a delving box, which gives me a delving box of crafting materials. And another one of those. So that's cool. Yeah, B4 does point out you can always use the you know, Alt and then the number keyboard to type extended characters. For example, I have been, my keyboards did not have the Euro symbol, but now we live in Europe, and that's kind of handy to have. And so for a lot, it was always like Alt 0128, I think it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Alt 0128 will give you the pound sign. The Euro sign. Sorry, brains. Cool thing though is my keyboard now, it has like a function button. I don't know if you can see that, but it's blue. And then oh no, that's not that one. Sorry, that does other things. Okay, on my Alt, I have an Alt GR, and when I use the Alt GR, it does. So like there's a couple of my numbers. So like number 4 has 3 symbols on it, and the number 5 has 3 symbols on it, and so it does that other symbol, which in this case would be the Euro symbol on my 5. So that's really cool. I could just push that and the 5, and then I get that, get the Euro symbol. So that's really handy. Hang on, I gotta go protect some sea lanes, which is not the same as sea lions. All right, so we have to go defeat Corsairs and tend to the wounded crew members. So, where are you wounded people? Oh, do we have to go up the stairs? No. Around the corner? Up the stairs. I always forget which way we start. Oh yeah, here's a wounded person. I will tend to you. Oh my goodness, she's snoring. She's got the little snore going. We'll see if she does it again. Dave, I face you. I'm old, my storage capacity is limited. I won't start learning Alt whatever combination. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I just look it up on the internet. When I don't remember what it is, I'll be like, Alt, I just type in something like, you know, Alt Euro symbol. It gets me there. But yes, I understand. It would be a pain to have to remember how to do that just so you can like use somebody else's keyboard. That's kind of an interesting table. Anyway, I think we go out and about. Yes, before does a search for ASCII table. So if you can remember that, that's my problem. I forget that it's an ASCII thing. But yes, if that was the thing that would stick in your head, that is an option also. So here's the funny thing, we're on the boat, but if you look at my mini radar, we're just like on blue, which is great. Okay, so once we've tended to the wounded crew members here, and we've defeated all of the bad guys, then there's a captain that shows up on one end or the other. Oh, I think he's yeah, there he is. And we gotta deal with him. I guess he just stands there until we actually yell at him. There we go. He was ready to duel. Ah, that was the problem. There was 3 of us. Yeah. Before it says you could type American Standard Code for Information Interchange, but that seems harder. Or I just type Alt a Euro thing and eventually gets me there.
You have need of something?
Or I get a keyboard that does it.
Has come in with
that makes my life easier. Alright, we're gonna go do the Beast of Belfalas. Hoy. Alright, so we're doing Delvings. And then probably gonna go over and do Bingo Boffin. We could do that off screen. I am kind of tempted to do off screen because we are getting close to the end of the Bingo Boffin quest line, the whole story over on Treebeard, and I know that not everybody has gotten that far, and I don't want to like spoil it for anybody who's still working on it, because the problem with it is you have to be of a certain level to get to various parts of the bingo stuff storyline. Like it's really hard to do some of it unless you're on level. So I might just keep us here doing Delvings for the rest of, okay. Yeah, so I think we'll finish up some Delvings here. Oopsie, and shoot things I didn't mean to, sorry. We're trying to get to just the big beastie, but annoyingly these other little beasties are in the way. And sometimes not in the way. Yes, I know, you're shooting at me. Okay, let's keep working our way to the big beastie. Tillian says, what? Why do we not use EBCDIC? I mean, gosh, what a great question. I don't know. I don't know what that one is, actually. Oh, precursor to ASCII. Oh, okay. So. All right. Cool. And we'll get that one. These two. So the big beastie we're trying to get to is back in here. But yeah, the problem is if you get too close to any of these other things, they kind of get alerted to your presence and they want to join the party. And so then you end up fighting like the big beastie and these other guys who decided to say hello at the same time. So we have a tendency to try to take these guys out before we get in there. Did that work? Were you able to go around the yucky stuff? Okay. Okay. Tar said, unleashes a bellow of rage. There it is. See, it's pretty big. Yeah, it's a pretty big beastie. Yup. Tillian says, because Gates did not like IBM. Originally, I've gone and drank a whole bunch of stuff, and I need to step away, so I won't be going over by too long. Alright, that scout walks really close to those worms. And if you're not careful, you end up in combat with them. But the nice thing is you can travel while you're in combat with these guys. So that's nice. That's very handy. Alright, so we'll turn that in. And we turn in the mission. Alright. Oops, that's not what I want. And remember to open my delving box. Alright, got some universal delving power potions. Cannot use with effect Bjorning class. That's rough. I mean, it's true, because Bjornings don't do power. Still kind of rough. Okay. So should we call it here on the Delvings? Oh, yeah. Alright. This is how I deal with my inventory management. I just give it all to Affadil. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna have the branches. Now these things I could just sell, but we've decided it's easier for me to just hand them over. Affadil sells it all and then just gives me some money once in a while. Like, that works. I think that's bound. Yeah, can't get rid of that. These are bound. Can't get rid of them. Oh, but these you can have. And what's that? Oh, it's bound anyway. And oh wait, no, I have a thing. I'm gonna keep that. Okay. Ooh, some dice. Thank you. But anything that's not scholarly will come to you. I have a scholar on this server, and she makes me dice, and that's really nice. Oh yeah, I'm giving you all the crab legs. So Affadil's been making us the crab leg stuff, which is fantastic because that's like on level food here. Yeah, I like to do that. Well, I had stuff from before, so it wasn't gonna make a difference. Oh, that one's bound to account. I can't give you that. And that's the one you gave me. Cool. Oh, and you gave me 5 gold. Thanks. It's a fair trade. All right, so let's see what else we got. Excuse me, as we were trading, I noticed I have a couple things in my inventory. So and I don't mean a couple things. I mean, like, I have Bingo's empty hat rack, and I have Bingo's hat rack from the Shire. So I picked those up yesterday, right? Because here on Laurelin, there's like a lot of kind of social things to do. It's a role-playing server, and so there's a lot of times people are role-playing. Hang on, though. Die carry-all, sweet. Let me open up my die carry-all and grab that rose die, so that's out of my inventory too. Anyway, so I was I'm gonna say bye, Affadil. See you later. So let's go to my premium house. Yeah. So I was over by the in the Shire. I was over by Delving because the Bullroarers, no, sorry, the Badgers were doing a like a rehearsal, which is a group of hobbits that play music. The Badgers are, and so I was there to listen to the rehearsal because that's always fun for me. And I walked over, and I have done some of the bingo stuff on this server. I've gotten all the way up through into the Misty Mountains. Now I gotta go into, oh, that's what we were gonna do. I gotta make a note. You know what? Hang on. We're gonna write this down this time because I keep not writing it down, and then I forget. And then the next week I'm like, what should we do this week? Like, you know, I thought I said something on stream, but I don't remember what it was. Okay, so next week, writing down week, let's do I have a whole bunch of stuff in the Misty Mountains taking us into Goblin Town. So let's do Goblin Town on Laurelin. Okay, so next week we're going to do Goblin Town on Laurelin. I have it written down. We should be able to remember this. Maybe I'll even put it on the calendar or something. Cool. Okay. So that's where my bingo boffin storyline on this server is, because Goblin Town, I mean, it's intended to be like hard to get around, and it is. They've done a very good job with that. So I'm gonna have B4 help me with Goblin Town because he's got a great Goblin Town map that he uses that he found online, and we'll just follow that. Anyway, so I was hanging out there watching the Badgers play, and then when they were done, I ended up walking over to where Bert Bartleby was standing, of the Bingo Boffin fame, and and I went ahead and grabbed an empty hat rack and then the Shire hat rack, because I realized that I wasn't sure if I had hat racks at my house. Big Dory 2 says, I hate Goblin Town so much. It is complicated, right? Like, it just is chaos, it seems like. Okay, so we've got Bingo's hat rack of the Lone Lands here. So we've got like a little bit of room for people to hang their hats. But really, if you were coming here as a guest, there's not a lot of space for you to put your hat rack, right? So let's see. Nope, it won't go on a wall space. Is this, oh, I've got the sleeping gray cat using that furniture hook. What about this one? Yep, I've got another cat there. I think, oh, that one's empty. Okay, so let's use an empty hat rack here, and then we're gonna drag that towards the door. What do you think? Should we put it, I'm thinking I'm gonna put it nearby the other hat rack, because, oh, you know, we could do one hat rack on either side of the mittens. That ain't bad. Oops, let's come back over here. Big Door says, I don't get lost. There's just random difficulty spikes in there that make no sense to me. Fair enough. I usually don't go in by myself. So that helps, because then, you know, it's always nicer to go into Goblin Town as a group. Oops, I don't want to lift you off the ground. I want to turn you around like a record, baby. That's pretty good. That's kind of chaotic, right? Okay. And then I think we'll move this over then. Oops, by the way. So it's kind of like in between the hat racks. Could do with another one of those, really, but oh, you know what I could really use with over here is a coat rack. Maybe we'll go grab one of those in a minute. Okay, and then, oops, let's move this back up so it kind of lines up with the other one. Could go with a little more, right? So scoot you. Yeah, that's about good. Okay, so let's take a look. Cool. So now we have an empty hat rack here for guests, and we have a hat rack full of stuff there. That's not bad. And then a coat rack wouldn't be amiss. I heard one of my kitties over here go meow. I have, what do I have? 2 pigs and 2 mobile cats and 2 cats on cushions in here. So it's a busy room. No, but for me, I have, yeah, let me check. I have, let's see, the Misty Mountains, Passage to Darkness, Find the Hidden Entrance to Goblin Town. That's for Bilbo. Bilbo Baggins is over at the Last Homely House, and he asked me to go find the hidden entrance to Goblin Town for him for his writing, for his memoir. So I've got that. And then the Ballad of Bingo Boffin, I need to find one of the entrances to Goblin Town in the Misty Mountains because Bingo fell into a cave and we need to go that way to try and find him. And then, is it this one? Yeah. And then on the epic storyline, I'm working on so still in volume 1 on this one, and it's book 2, chapter, what was it? Chapter 10, A Pouch of Gems for a Box of Keys, where I have to go into Goblin Town and find some coveted gems. So yeah, so I have at least 3 or 4 reasons to go into Goblin Town. Oh, let's cancel this Roving Threats of the North Downs. We're not worried about that. So yeah, so that's what I think we'll do next week. I think we'll go to Goblin Town and try to knock out a bunch of quests. Oh, so let's talk about a hat rack. Let's go to, let's see if I have Swift Traveler. Sweet, No Bottle. We're gonna go to No Bottle because I want to go to Yondershire. Because I'm pretty sure that's where I can get the coat rack that I'm looking for. Dame Hypatia says, I get lost, totally lost. Yeah, well, Dame Hypatia, if you ever want to go in with us, you're welcome to join along. Because, yeah, I find that place kind of crazy myself. Tillarian says, I never get lost. It's the world that's wrong. I like that. So I'm pretty sure this quartermaster here, any of the quartermasters in the Yondershire, to be fair, they have all of these various things to barter. They have 4 pages worth of stuff. And they've got these super cute wall hangings, which, oh, I want to check. I should have checked the other house. Well, we could come back. So those are great. And, but then this one, the coat hooks. So look, there's a coat hook, there's a medium set of coat hooks, and there's a long set of coat hooks. And wouldn't you know, I forgot to look at my other house to see which one I want. So we're going to pull up Deco de Mieux's website, which is, let me give you all the link to that. That's the wrong thing. Loftshire says, sadly I will miss some of next week's shows. I'll be lost in Breeland, aka work. Finishing about 45 minutes into the stream again. Aw. Well, you're welcome anytime. So we'll just be glad to see you when you get here. How's that? Okay, so I'm on the Deco de Mieux website here, which I just realized you can't see, but that's okay. Because on there's a search button. Like most websites, there's a search button. So you click on search, and I'm going to type in coat hooks because all 3 of these things have the word coat hooks listed. We have coat hooks, medium set of coat hooks, and long set of coat hooks. And so then there are images on the website of each of those 3 things. Okay, so what I could get is the coat hooks has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like it has 10 pegs, and 6 of them have things hanging on them. And then the medium set of coat hooks, it looks like it has fewer pegs, and all of them are taken. And then the long set of coat hooks has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hooks, pegs, and there are 3 open ones. But I think that might be what I want, because then it looks like more people are there. The only thing, though, I'm hesitant about is the long set of coat hooks has like 3 capes hanging there that have like the White Tree of Gondor on them. And granted, it's in Lindleby, my house is, but would there be people visiting my Hobbit that would be there with capes that have the White Tree of Gondor on them? Let's see, important questions. The other option is I just get the regular one, which is the coat hooks, because it has pretty nondescript stuff. So let's go ahead and just get coat hooks for the moment. So I'll grab one of those. And I've done questing in Yondershire, and so over time I accumulated these copper bounders coins, and I've been just carefully spending them to get the things that I want from these barterers. Okay, so I've got the coat hooks. So let's go back to that same house we were just at, and we'll do that one first, and then I'll pop over to my other Lindleby house and take a look at putting the hat rack that has one hat on it there, see if that's what I want, or if I want to do something else. And then I'll probably start wrapping it up. So, yeah, so I will finish up here in a little bit, here not too long. Okay, there's our mittens shelf. And this wall is empty, and we can put the coat racks on that. Okay, so now I think I want to scooch things differently. So the mittens are going to go back to where they were. And the coat hooks are going to come over and be in between the hat racks. And then we're going to bring it down because we are short hobbits. Yes, we are. That's the wrong direction. Also, I like the idea of having it kind of like line up a little bit more with the hat rack. So that's kind of cool. With the mitten rack. Okay, so let's turn that off. There we go. What do we think? Yeah? So we got a pair of hat racks. We've got some coat hooks. We've got a mitten shelf. And we'll take the names off, take a look at it better. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. I think if nothing else, it's a good start, and then we can adjust later. This wall is still very barren, but that's okay. I think we can work with that. All right, so I think we're happy there. So now let's go over to Welfirth Way, because that's my other house here. This is my smaller house. The other one's a bigger house. The yards are both massive. Oh, so here's an interesting thing. So every day you get a Hobbit gift. And so it looks like this little present down here. So I'll go ahead and open my silver present. I got a pile of silver scraps. And where did it go? That's weird. It didn't show up in my inventory. Oh, there it is. That was really odd. Okay, so I got a massive pile of silver scraps, which is basically is like, here, have some money. So that's worth 2 gold. And then I've got this virtue experience potion pot. So because I am playing by default on difficulty, I'm playing on difficulty level 3, I get a bonus on my virtue experience when I earn it. However, it does not apply for when you are in an instance, and housing is considered to be an instance. So I do not consume those potion pots, the virtue experience potions, until I'm not in an instance. So I make sure I'm not in housing and I'm not in anything else that's considered an instance. Okay, so here's my other house. This is kind of what I consider my main house, really, on the server. So I've got, oh, that's funny. I've made the same decision before. So I've got those two there. And then, oh, I did put the other ones over here, though. Okay. But I don't have a hat rack here. So I think a hat rack would be well received. Do we have something on this hook? We do not. Perfect. Now, here's my thinking, though. Do I want to get a second hat rack for this house like I just did at the other house? Because we have a lot going on with the walls for coats and things, but we don't have a lot of space for hats. I mean, you could put a hat on top of there, but... So I am tempted to grab another hat rack, and maybe put a couple of hats on it. So let me show you what that means if you don't know what I'm talking about. So Bingo Boffin is a character in Lord of the Rings Online. And Bingo Boffin, as a trivia note, was the working name for... I thought it was Frodo Baggins, but somebody last week said it was actually Bilbo Baggins. So eventually, you know, it was Baggins, not Boffin. So as a nod to that, the Lotro folks created a character in here called Bingo Boffin. And Bingo has some adventures in the game. It's like a separate little storyline that you follow. And his adventures more closely parallel the adventures that Bilbo had in The Hobbit, whereas your epic storyline in Lotro more follows the Fellowship's storyline. So it's a neat little nod that whereas the majority of the game you're basically doing a lot that is parallel to, you know, the Lord of the Rings books, but when you go off and do the Bingo Boffin storyline, it takes you back to some of the Hobbit storyline. So anyway, so that's kind of fun. And so here I am in Mickle Delving, and Bingo Boffin happens to live, let me put the names back on. If you come back here, and oh, I went too soon, but that's okay, I can hop the fence, or we can go around. So he's in this little collection of houses here. So we have Poppy Brace Girdle, Bingo's neighbor, and we have Merrimack Fairbairn, that's Bingo's other neighbor. And then at the top of the hill, we have Myrtle Boggs, nosy neighbor. And Bingo himself lives down here in this cute little house. So that's Bingo's house. And when you are early on in the game, like level 5, you'll get a little mail, and it's Bingo saying, hey, I want to talk to you about something. And so you pop over to his house, and the adventure, you know, begins from there. Yes, stay my Beja. Like in the US, living in the suburbs in a cul-de-sac. He's got his own little suburban cul-de-sac here. I think it's so cute. It's like a little mini village, you know, like if everybody knows everybody and helps each other out. And there's a little piece of the storyline early on where like he's borrowed things from his neighbors, and he's like, oh man, I really should be giving these things back before I go off and do these things I'm going to go do. So he's like, hey, can you go, you know, return that bucket over to her and return that teapot over to her, and you know, that kind of thing. It's very cute. It's like, you know, what I imagine neighborhoods were like before roads got so big that you couldn't walk across them, you know. So anyway, there's the Bird and Baby Inn. So anyway, as you're going through and doing the Bingo questline, it came out 1 week at a time when it originally came out. So you'd have like a storyline, and then to be like, come back next week, and you could do the next piece of the storyline. So it takes you through, and it was like, I don't know, 9 months or something worth of storyline. It went a while, which it's kind of cool. So we are experiencing some of that over on Treebeard, which is a legendary server where every time we get the next expansion, then we get the bingo storyline that continues from there forward. Oh, Tellurian says 52 weeks. Thank you. However, the bingo storyline is, I believe, completely open to us now on Treebeard. So, excuse me. So we could actually finish it over there because there is an end. There is an end to the story as it goes. So, yeah, Lost Shire Hobbit. Me quests with bingo for a while. Also me. Then leaves him to go somewhere else. Also me again. Goes to a new place and finds bingo again. Hello, bingo. Nice to see you again. Yeah, Tellurian points out the last quest is level 93. So it goes on for a while. Like, you do need to be, you'll want to be high enough level to be able to do some of the stuff as you follow him around. Yeah, Pablo Savage says it's harder and harder quest. Yeah, exactly. It does get harder and harder because of some of the areas that you're in, and every so often you have to do combat once in a while or be somewhere where combat could happen, and survivability is important. So yeah, getting to the end of that, you kind of do need the levels to get there. So a lot of times I'll get to like, a little ways along with bingo, and then I stop because my character stops leveling. Yeah, and Pablo Savage also says group and fellowship helps. Yeah, exactly. We often will go and do it together, myself and B4. So, but anyway, so one of the interesting things too that you get with bingo, the cat just got up off my lap. I don't think you're very awake, are you, sweetie? Is you have this guy, Bert Bartleby, who will show up with his, his trusty horse, old Rattlepacks there, at the location where you just were doing bingo stuff. So we started here in Mickle Delving, and so Bert shows up here in Mickle Delving. Oh, so here's an interesting thing, is if you forget where you left off with bingo, you can ask Bert. You'd be like, where can I find bingo this week? And he'll be like, bingo is missing. You should look instead for Spalvey, for the dwarf has vowed to help you find bingo. And says, look for this, go here in Misty Mountains, blah, blah, blah. So that's a good way to kind of remind you where are you in the storyline and where to go and that sort of thing. So that's really handy. And then also, he has things that you can barter. So as you complete pieces of the bingo storyline, you are awarded with these bingo badges, and they're a barter item that you can use with Bert Bartleby. So once you've completed the storyline, there's no way for that character to get any more bingo badges. So, spend them judiciously. You can, however, run other characters through it, and they can come and get things, but your bingo badges, I believe, are character bound. I don't believe you can trade them between characters. Let me see. Yeah, bingo badges are white, which I think means just me. Yeah, yep. Green is server wide. All of your characters on that server share that. And gray, or white, in my case, are things that are specific to your character and are bound to your character, and you can't share those. So your bingo tokens are. But you can, a lot of the things you buy with the bingo tokens, you can give away. In fact, I can't remember. Okay, we're going to grab a hat rack, so let's just go ahead and barter for that, right, since we're standing here, right? The hat rack is bound to account. Okay, so you can't share that. But if you buy these tomes, like the Tome of the Brown Rabbit, that's not bound. So you can give those away. Looks like the weapons and the armor are bound, though. So the pets. So the pets you can pass around. Yeah. So that's nice. Okay, so the hat rack thing. The hat rack, I don't know what it's called, but basically you can pick up the empty hat rack from Bert here in the Shire, and then each successive place that he's at, with a few exceptions, you can trade in the hat rack from the previous spot to get the hat rack with another hat added onto it, which is really cute. Oh yeah, Coolwitch says, I'd like a Bert Bartleby property guard housing item. I like the, oh, what's his name? The treasure seeker guy. I like him as a housing guard. He cracks me up. I think that's why. I think it's because he cracks me up so much. And so at one of my houses, oh, I think this is over on Landreval, I have Theodore Gorse. So I have a Theodore Gorse property guard, and then I have a little Marigold property guard, and I put them near each other so they can walk around and talk to each other basically as they're hanging out. So, which is fun. So Ginger says the badges are bound to character, but the rewards aren't, and the whole line only goes to Helm's Deep, so can be completed by level 100. So yeah. Oh, but the nice thing is they did add a few extra bingo storylines throughout the game. They keep adding a little bit more and a little bit more. Like there's one bingo storyline chain that takes place in the Yondershire, for example. So I think that's really nice that you can do some more bingo. Okay, so I've got the empty hat rack right now, which unfortunately there's no way to show you that. I can't wardrobe. Yeah, I can't show you. I can't embiggen these things, but so I have the empty hat rack there, which we just saw at my house. And then there's the bingo hat rack called the Shire, which has one hat on it. So you'll see it'll cost me 5 bingo tokens and 1 empty hat rack to purchase the Shire one. So I'm going to do that. So that went away. Now I have the new one. And I think the next one is in Bree. So we're going to pop over to Bree real quick and take a look and see if it's there. So I'm pretty sure that's where the next Bert Bartleby is. And if you ever get lost on where to find Bert Bartleby, there's a nice listing of Bartleby. Yes. The Lotor Wiki has a nice listing about his stuff there. And it tells you like where he's, oops, I'm in first person again still, where he's found, and like what gets you there, what quest sends him to the next one, so you can kind of track where to find him next, because there are a couple places where bingo finishes and Bert doesn't show up at that particular location. And then there's a nice gallery of all the pictures of him, which is cool. And then on the wiki, then all these things that you can barter for him, these pets, there's a whole gallery of the different cosmetic pets, so you can decide if there's things that you want to get from him. And the hat racks are not on the Bert Bartleby page, but I know the hat racks are here because that was something that was very important to me. And so there was like 1 or 2 missing in bingo, and before filled them in for me. So let's see, barter items. Let's see. Yeah, I know it's out there somewhere. That's okay. We don't need to find it, but it's out there. Okay, so I love this. You could get a trusty tankard. It's a hand item. In fact, I should probably make sure I get one of those at some point if I don't already have that. Whoa, has my window worn out? What? Okay, we're gonna take care of that in a minute too. Does he have a hat rack here? I do not see a hat rack. Okay, so there's no hat rack. But I feel like I should take care of my window problem. Well, that's okay. Yeah, okay, so Lone Lands is the next one. So, you know, I'll just pop over there real quick. So I'll take my guide to Oscaruth and pop over to the Lone Lands. So, which is handy because if you get Kindred with the Eglain, which is the group here of the Lone Lands, you get personal travel to Ostgaruth. So if you don't happen to be a hunter, you can still get out here with free travel as long as you've quested out here a bit. And then Bert is right here by the stable master. So that's convenient.
I have collected many
All right,
fine
so
items
this
during
hat,
my
so it says
travels.
this hat rack is home to Bingo's sun hat and Tom Bombadil's own hat. So that's nice. I think we'll get that. Here's where you could also get the Marigold property guard, which is cool. All right, so I think we're going to stick with that, and then we'll take those back to my house, and we'll drop that in. And I think we'll probably wrap up after that. So we got one hat rack to install. And then I just have to decide if I like the empty one being empty, or do I want to put something on it. It's probably fine empty for now. And then we can always add more to it later too, which is, you know, which is fine. Oh, I got here too fast. Egg Arthur says the reputation port to Oscaruth is actually more convenient than the Hunter or Warden port if you're just using it as a connection point to elsewhere, because Hunter travel. Okay, Hunter travel is overrated. I do not agree with that. Because I don't have to wait. It's like there's an induction time, but there's no cooldown time. So I could, if you've been to Oscaruth and then you change your mind, you want to go back, you have to wait 5 minutes. Whereas I can take you there over and over again right away. So I disagree that Hunter travel is overrated. All right, so I could put the hat rack here at the end, or I could put it there by the chest, but I don't like that. So I might just put it over here, kind of like the other one, like I did on the other. So then the question is, do I put the two hat racks next to each other, or do I just have them at opposite ends like I did at the other house? First of all, I gotta find a furniture. Oh, lucky day. I thought I'd used all my furniture spots, and I thought I was gonna be in trouble trying to find something I could use. So let's scoot it. No, not that way. Let's scoot it this way. And maybe, maybe tuck it in. Oh yeah, so you can see there's the Tom Bombadil hat on there. Isn't that cute? So what if we did it kind of like that? And then people would know they could stick their hat on there. Okay, let's close that up and show you what it looks like. So this is the one with just Bingo's hat on it. And then this is the one with Bingo and Tom Bombadil's hats on them. That's not bad. I think that's a good start. We'll do that for now and then see if I change my mind. Although having Bingo's hat sticking out at the same angle on both of them, I don't like that. So we're going to rotate this one. There we go. That makes it look different. Oops. There we go. I think I like that. Coolwitch asks, what's that wallpaper? Let me tell you. It's one of my favorites, but I always have to write it down because I get it mixed up with the other ones. So that is the Summer Fest wallpaper. You get it at the summer, so that'd be no longer the summer fair, but the farmer's fair is where that comes from. And then I put different colored paints behind it. So in this case, there's a blue. Let's see, I didn't do it in there, and I didn't do it in there. I have a tendency to put it on every wall, so I've tried to not put it on every wall. Looks like I didn't do it on hardly any walls in this house. What in the world? Maybe I ran out. And then I've got my Christmassy stuff over here, my Yule stuff. Hang on, it's probably at my other house. Hang on a second. Let's go back to Floodside. Yeah, so I try to keep notes. So I use Lotropad, which is another plugin. We were talking about plugins earlier. And where did I put it? It's in one of those tabs. Oh, that's what threw you off, was the color. Yeah. Because it's fine on its own, but I think it's a lot of fun if you add colors behind it, you know. I think it just, I don't know, gives a little extra flair, you know. Let me see if it's in here. I think it was the server. Yeah, okay, so there it is. Yeah. So I have it green here, And then I have it in here, but with no color added. So it's just the pattern on the wall. So you can see right there the difference between like the green in the other room and then the plain on this room. That's kind of fun. And then, let's see, did I do, oh, I've still got the Yule wallpaper up in this room. And then I have it here with yellow, I think, behind it, or maybe it's the pea green. And then nothing on this one. So you can see it's just a faint difference between those two. But there is a difference. And then, let's see, I think it's, nope, not that one. Oh yeah, and then I did it blue on this one. Yeah. Oh, is that the whole house? It might be the whole house. I get my houses confused sometimes. I was thinking I was going downstairs when I wasn't. Yeah, I think I need more. What did I do with them all? I had like 10 of them, but maybe... What did I do with them? I'm not sure. May have been the other server though. So anyway, so yes, I'm a big fan of that wallpaper. It's one of my favorites. And I love how it can look so different with the different colors. So like, I don't know if I can line it up here, but so you can see I've got the green in the room I'm standing in, and then we've kind of got like that yellowy version. Yeah, it's probably best this way in the distance. I think it's yellow. It might be pea green, but I think it's yellow. And then we've got blank, nothing in that room. So it's just, it's subtle, but I like it. I like the way it does that. So. Okay, I think that is it. Oh, I gotta go get my window. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. If there's anything else you wanted to chat about, though, stick it in the chat real quick, and we can take care of that while I run to the center of town. Yeah, Cool Witch says I'll be playing with different colors tonight. That's why it's so handy to have a scholar, because then I can be like, oh man, I just want a bunch of different wall colors. But you know, also if you go to the center of town, the housing furnishers. Let's see, I think it's the housing furnisher is the one that has the wallpaper colors. Is that right? Paints and surfaces. Yeah, and you could get like a whole bunch of different wall paints from these folks too. So so there's some other ones you could play with, like they have indigo, they've got navy, olive, black, sienna, rust, violet, and white. And then of course you got the ones that you can make as a scholar, of course. So that just adds it to so much more fun too. I haven't really come up with like a flooring that I like as much as that wallpaper
Could you help me
that I
with
play with
something?
all the time. But I keep hoping that I'll come across something that I enjoy as much on the floors, and then I could just do different colors with it. I think that'd be really fun, but haven't quite found that same, you know, combo that really makes me happy. So, all right. Well, I think we're gonna call it here, and then next week I have my notes. We're gonna go to Goblin Town. Assuming there's nothing else, I went ahead and grabbed the new calendar and just put a couple of notes in Lotro pads. So let's see, curator's coming back. Spring Festival starts March 7th, and it's right now February something. I don't know, February 20th. Okay, so we have 1, 2. We won't be able to do festival on stream for until the 3rd week. So we've got 2 weeks of non-festival on my stream. So yeah, so Goblin Town next week sounds great. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming by tonight. I hope you have a grand rest of your evening. Make sure to stick around. B4 is coming up right after me, and he's going to be doing his stream called Plugging Along, where he'll be talking about the Lotro plugins as we are. And then, oh, also then later on at, I think it's like 8 or 9 o'clock US time, so US evening time, is I think it's Meilung questing. Oh, you know what, hang on, it should just be right here on Tuesday. There we go. So yeah, so I'm Little Redhead, and then right after me is B4, and then later on is Meilung, doing something like questing to Rohan or run to Rohan, something like that. He's got a fun name for a stream. I always forget it though. It's because I'm sleeping and I never get to catch it, so that's my problem. So anyway, hey, thanks for this. Thanks for coming along. I appreciate the thanks for the stream. Thanks, y'all. Oh yes, tune in tomorrow for Scenario. We'll be here at 2 o'clock Eastern time for the casual stroll with Scenario. So that'll be a lot of fun too. All right. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody, and I'll see you over in B4 stream in just a moment. And as always, keep in touch with that Hobbit side of your heart. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.